All right, you're up with your 2-minute opening statement.
Is it on? Yes? Okay. My name is Misty Wamhoff, and I'm running for Frisco ISD School Board of Trustees, Place 5. My husband and I have been in Frisco for the last 17 years. We've raised our 3 children here. 2 of them are Frisco ISD graduates. Our youngest is currently a sophomore at Reedy High School. I've been a longtime volunteer and within our community and as well as in the district. I've served on the PTA, on the leadership board. I currently serve as the Denton County Child Protective Services Board as the vice president. I stay engaged with the different programs and the organizations within the district. My years of service have actually helped me have a deep understanding of how decisions actually affect students, teachers, and parents. Frisco ISD has done a lot of good things, but there's some challenges ahead. There's the declining in enrollment, which then brings budget issues. We also need to make sure we maintain safe schools, retain and support our teachers, as well as being able to commit to the strength and transparency with our parents and our community. My commitment is to be a good steward of taxpayer resources, as well as to support our teachers, and I'm here to listen. I want to strengthen the transparency and keep our schools safe. I also want to strengthen our partnership with our parents. I'm running for Frisco ISD because I love this community, and I also understand our schools. Again, I listen. I want to be able to help Frisco ISD navigate this moment in time with honesty, steadiness, and with a focus on students. Thank you.
Babu, we'll go to you.
Good evening. My name is Babu Venkat. I'm running for Frisco ISD, Place 5. Before that, I'm a father of 2, and who moved to Frisco ISD 16 years ago, packed our bags, left Overland Park, Kansas with our 2 kids, with just one friend whom I know in Dallas, and nothing else, to Frisco ISD just for its schools. And raised both my kids here. My son graduated Lone Star High School. My daughter is currently in Lone Star High School. So I've been having a kid in Frisco ISD for the last 16 years always. Right? When we moved, the district had 6 high schools, 30,000 students. Have seen how we have grown, how fast we have grown. And in the last few years, I'm also seeing what we are going through, the kind of challenges. Professionally, I work as a chief revenue officer for a technology company. And from a volunteer standpoint, I'm deeply committed to the community. I co-founded 2 nonprofits, which helps the local food banks, school, backpack drives, and we also, raise money for our local police and firefighters associations. Very deeply committed to the community for the last 15 years and always try to give back in any way I can. And looking at the current challenges and looking at my background, I felt, hey, this is a time we need a little bit of, difference in how we think and operate. And I looked at our budget challenges and said, hey, it is a time for me to step up and see how I can help the Frisco ISD and keep our Frisco ISD strong. Thank you so much.
Can you hear me? All right, bright lights, by the way. First time up here. What's that? All right, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the Chamber for hosting this. My name is Shri Maji. I'm running for Place 5. We've been a resident of Frisco for 10 years, and we have a 16-year-old boy who's a sophomore at Centennial High School right now. I'm no stranger to many people in this room because I've been serving our schools and our community for a long time. And some of the things I've done include I've served on the board of Frisco Education Foundation, where we helped our teachers and students with grants, scholarships, STEM programs, and things like that. I've served on multiple district advisory councils within FISD, including I'm on the Legislative Leadership Committee right now, so we're helping define the advocacy for FISD for next year. I also mentor our high school students in the classroom through programs like DECA, Incubator, Independent Study and Mentoring, and things like that. I've gone through the Frisco ISD leadership programs like FISD Insight and Board Leadership Academy. I'm the only candidate up here who's gone through those. And I've been recently endorsed by the Frisco Educators Panel unanimously for my contributions to FISD. Professionally, I have 25 years of experience with companies like T-Mobile, Chase, and I'm a Buckeye. I have a master's and MBA from The Ohio State University. I'm a huge Buckeye fan, OHIO, I see somebody there. The reason I'm running for this role is simple. We have some heavy headwinds coming our way, with enrollment, budgeting, teacher retention, things like that. And we need a strong leader to join the board and make sure we can help shepherd the next phase of Frisco ISD. We have a very young board, and with my extensive experience inside FISD and my service to the community, I feel I can play that role. Thank you.
Sri, you already have the microphone primed. Let's just start with you with this. I'm right here. Hi. We'll just start with you for this first question. So the board has appointed Dr. Fauci as the district NEST superintendent at a pivotal moment for the district. How will you support Dr. Fauci in delivering results that strengthen the district's role as a talent pipeline for the local economy? And what does an effective board superintendent partnership look like in driving measurable outcomes?
Can you hear me? Okay. I was in the FISD admin building when they announced Dr. Fauci as the lone superintendent a couple of weeks ago. I think our trustees did a great job. They went through an extensive process, interviewed several candidates, and in the end, I think we got the right man for the job. Mr. Fauci, I've known Mr. Fauci as I served on multiple councils and committees and things like that. He's a very experienced administrator. I think he has the right values for Frisco ISD. Yeah, I look forward to working with him on some of the challenges we talked about. To me, success means we work in a partnership, the entire board. With him, we work as partners, and we achieve outcomes that benefit the entire community of stakeholders, which includes students, teachers, parents, retired teachers, and everybody else in the community. And I'm sure we'll do that. Thank you.
Dr. Fauci has been a great choice. Coming from an MBA human resources background, I always think about succession planning, right? And that's been one of the areas, and I've been tracking closely, and I always like somebody, when promoted from inside. And to look at your, the question fundamentally, right? How do we, keep him accountable, right, and measurable, right? I think as a board of trustees, it's a partnership. We need to make sure he has all the available tools to achieve our goals. But we also need to set the priorities and help him, right, and make sure we give him the right tools and support to get the outcomes that we need. And those outcomes need to be defined, whether it could be budgeting balance, it could be maintaining the classrooms. I think the classrooms are a key piece. Teacher retentions, right? And those are the key metrics that we need to set expectations with him and hold him accountable and work with him closely as partners. Thank you.
Is it on? Yes, okay. So I met Dr. Fauci. It was like a week or two before it was announced that he was selected for the superintendent. I sat down with Dr. Waldrop and the instructional team, and he's a very nice man. He's very transparent, very just approachable, very nice man. I think some of the things that we just need to make sure that stays in focus is the transparency, right? As I've heard through a lot of my communication with a lot of the people that I've been talking to this week and other weeks, they just want to be heard. Families want to be heard, and so we just want to make sure that we have a good partnership with our superintendent and that he hears us, the parents, and our community members. Thank you.
Okay, for our next question, Babu, we will start with you. A Chamber of Commerce is always interested in a high-quality workforce. And a high-quality workforce starts with great educators, but attracting and retaining teaching talent is increasingly difficult in a competitive market. How do you prioritize teacher compensation and retention while managing tighter budgets? And what role do you see educator quality playing in supporting Frisco's broader economic success?
It's an interesting question, and I'm sure I answered it in a couple of forums already in my question and answers, right? And teacher retention is a key area. And as I mentioned, succession planning, right? And probably I will little go over that. I'll try to wrap it up in a minute, but just give me 10 more seconds extra if I needed it. So fundamentally, I need to look at how we are operating currently, including our substitute teachers. I'm talking about teacher workloads. We currently, a third party is giving our substitute teacher. Talking with kids and parents in the last 2 months, I realized there is a third grader has 3 math teachers within the same year, right? So what we have to do is we have to bring our substitute teachers in-house, and which should be our employees, who should act as a feeder system, as well as a help to the teachers so that you can reduce the workload, and in unavoidable reason a teacher leaves, you have somebody to step up, and you maintain the continuity. That is a way that we have to start looking innovative than, we are doing this way and other way. Because unfortunately, we have been doing the same things for some years. Our challenges are new, and we need to think outside the box. And there are a few more I can probably have a one-on-one conversation and discuss about it more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Misty, same question to you.
Repeat the question.
Sure. How do you prioritize teacher compensation and retention while managing tighter budgets? And what role do you see educator quality playing in supporting Frisco's broader economic success?
So one of the things that I know Frisco ISD has done to help our teachers is they work together with our legislators, and we're able to have something called a teacher incentive allotment, and that helps with the compensation. It was something that Frisco ISD had to do some work with, and they did the work. A smaller district didn't have those resources, but Frisco ISD got it done. And so a lot of our teachers actually have benefited from this, and they keep adding more teachers to this program. Something that just we need to do is take care of our teachers. There's a lot of them that love Frisco ISD, and we just want to make sure that they're taken care of from either workload as well as good leadership, and making sure we're hearing them, because I've talked to a lot of them, and a lot of them just want to be heard. Thank you.
Sure.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. This is tricky, by the way. Just real quick, I had the great privilege of serving on the 2026 Teacher of the Year Selection Committee in FISD this year. And I had 25 elementary teacher applications, and I can tell you we have great talent inside FISD. But we got to, our attrition is about 15%, which is pretty big for a school district of our size. But we got to take care of it in 3 ways. One, make sure their pay is competitive, and that we got to prioritize that as we look at our school budgeting. But we can also do some advocacy with our state. Our teachers got increases last year, which is great. The TIA increments are gonna work as well, but we got to make sure their pay is competitive. 2, reduce the administrative overhead. This is the #1 thing I hear from our teachers. Is like we got way too much to do outside the classroom, so we got to find ways to cut that down. And 3, show appreciation as a community. I think we can do a lot to help them. And did I mention I got endorsed by the educators panel of Frisco ISD? I'm not sure if I did or not. So thank you.
Misty, we'll start with you with this next question. Frisco ISD is transitioning from a high-growth district to one focused on sustainability and optimization. What is your vision for Frisco ISD in this new era, and how will you ensure the district continues to be a key driver of talent, innovation, and economic vitality for the Frisco community? I'll get to the meat of it. What is your vision for Frisco ISD in this new era, and how will you ensure the district continues to be a key driver of talent, innovation, and economic vitality for the Frisco community?
So Frisco ISD has done a great job of hiring good teachers. They go through an extensive background. They have a lot of rigorous things that they have to do in order to become an FISD teacher. And I believe that we have the right people that can bring in that talent. They're able to discern who's best, who fits where. And so I think as long as we continue to do the things that we're doing, I think we should be successful. Continue to bring more.
Thank you. We'll actually go to Sri next for this question.
Can you repeat the question, if you don't mind?
Y'all are going to keep me on my toes today.
I thought I understood, but I just want to make sure.
What is your vision for Frisco ISD in this new era, and how will you ensure the district continues to be a key driver of talent, innovation, and economic vitality for the Frisco community?
Yeah, I mean, this is all about how do we spend our dollars wisely going forward. That's what the district calls sustainability. You've heard our enrollment is dropping for a number of factors. We are funded by the state based on enrollment, so you pay your property taxes. That goes to state of Texas. They give us approximately $8,000 or so per student. It's a complicated formula. And we on the LLC right now, we're going through all the details to make sure we can ask for more money in the next legislature. But as our enrollment declines, as our state funding declines, we really have to make the right choices. I think very quickly, one, go after innovative or newer revenue streams like Access Frisco, Frisco Flex, paid pre-K, summer camps. There are other ideas being thrown out there. Two, cut our expenses or optimize our spend to make sure we don't run into deficits. And three, advocacy with the state. I mean, that's where all the money is going. We got to make sure we can work with all the legislatures across Texas, not just the big cities, but also the rural districts, to make sure we can ask for things that we are underfunded. Thank you.
That's definitely a loaded question. Multiple times we need to ask the question. So how does the innovation, right? I think we need to strengthen our classrooms. I know we are A-rated, but I don't think we have enough strengthening of STEM programs within our campuses, right? Talking to multiple kids, I can also relate and understand there are not enough STEM clubs, and they have to self-fund a lot of those things. So we have to get fiscally responsible, and we need to find those money to divert to the campuses to strengthen our existing programs, which include some extracurricular. For example, we built $115 million in Panther Creek School. Even the theater students during junior, senior year has to shell out extra from their packets to be there, right? And as an example. So things like that, we can definitely strengthen it and do that. Other thing, I don't want to keep blaming the state. We have to do a lot of things with state, but we have legislative priority committees, and we have been trying to do that for years, right? And I don't think that's something is going to help in the short term. We need to look at solutions in the short term, what we can control while we push our committees to go forward and get those legislative priorities. Thank you.
Great. Babu, your mic's on, so we're going to start with you. We're going to give each of you a chance to ask one opponent a question, just one. So choose wisely. You have 30 seconds to state the question, and you'll have 1 minute to answer. Babu, your question.
All right, I think I will ask this to Sri. It's more than a question, it's more as a clarification, and it's going to be two parts. One, you mentioned more than once Frisco educators. I would like to understand a little more about the Frisco educators. How many educators are part of that association, which you claim unanimously were endorsed? Part two, you mentioned a young board in multiple conversation, but it is the same board that came from a similar background of you from the committees and everything from the system, Renee Sample, I know Dennett is there for some years, and others, right? How does it differentiate you when you say young board? It's an experienced board, in my opinion.
30 seconds, gotta be quick. 1 minute to answer.
1 minute to answer. Okay. Educator panel. So just to be very clear, I think I made it very clear. Educator panel. So every year, a group of educators representing FISD get together. They meet all of the candidates one-on-one, so 20 minutes each. I believe they ask the same questions, but generally the same set of questions. They look at the answers, and they pick one of the candidates and endorse them. In my case, I think there were 10 or 12 educators, I don't remember, but it was a rapid fire of questions, and at the end of it, they chose me as the clear and obvious choice. In fact, they had an email, I don't have it with me, but they're very, there's a lot of nice things to say about my experience and service. Second, when I say young board, Jeanette is the most experienced. She has 6 years of experience, the next person 4. Everybody else has less than 2. It's not an age thing, it's the number of years on the board. It just happened that we had a lot of experienced board members 5 years ago, and they all rolled out, and we are hiring new leaders, but we need to hire the right leaders.
All
That's
right.
the message.
Time, thank you. Misty, your chance. Question to one candidate. 30-second question, 1-minute answer.
My question is for Sri. So you were on the bond committee, you said for Frisco ISD. Will you keep Frisco taxpayers and parents at the focus of the next decisions and not after?
Wonderful, I was waiting for that. Listen, 2 things real quick about bonds. One, bonds represent your choice as Frisco voters to invest in our schools or maintain our schools. You voted in 2014 yes to a bond, in 2018 yes to a bond, 2024 you said no. The state doesn't fund building of our schools, so we have to pay for it ourselves. So the schools that you love, your kids went to, were built by bond dollars. So but the voters, you make that decision. Second, there's a process. A group of volunteers come together, and they study for months, and they review all the priorities. We did that in 2024. We visited Staley, we visited all the older schools, we saw firsthand the condition they're in, and then we voted on a bunch of priorities and sent it to the board. The board, FISD, they looked at it, and they packaged it, and they sent it in front of the voters. In my opinion, the reason it failed, it was packaged incorrectly. Prop B was $985 million. It should have been half of that. We only lost that 52-48. So
Time, thank you.
thank you.
Cherie, your chance.
My turn.
You've been the subject of 2 questions. Now it's your chance to ask a question. So you can't ask yourself, because that'd be weird.
Can I?
You can't, well, I
have
guess
one
he
more
could.
question.
He could. Okay,
I think
30 seconds
the
for the
fairness.
question, 1 minute for the answer. You go.
Yeah, I could ask the same question to both my opponents, but I'll ask it to Babu. I'm just perplexed why you're running in this election. I'm sorry to say this. I don't see you doing anything for Frisco ISD. Not even one thing volunteering at our schools. I heard you volunteer in Costa Rica, but why haven't you found the time to volunteer in our schools? Our teachers need your help. Our students need your help. Our schools need our help. Just perplexed you are running for the board without doing anything.
Sri, I'm glad you asked the question. I know we have been talking about this on the trial for some time. Volunteerism doesn't mean you have to just do in one thing. The reason that my town of council, half of them are going to endorse me, purely because I volunteered in local community. I was involved in local food banks. It's unfortunate you didn't know that, or you could have asked me, and I'm sure we shared that, right? And I've started LEAF, Little Lamb Angels Foundation, right? I'm a co-founder of it. We start and scale things. And I started Little Lamb Cricket Association. Now, when you come back and talk about it, let's talk about accountability. Oh, I am part of bond committee. I sent it to the board. Board didn't do it right. Then what are we doing as part of the committee member? It is not about what we get involved or I just stand up. It is about what do we do? What have we accomplished in spite of all this? You mentioned your Frisco Education Foundation director, which is one of 20. Rene Sample, who got elected, was a president of the same Frisco Education Foundation, and you say this board is not did the bond right, and this board is inexperienced.
Time.
How do you justify
Time.
that?
Rick, you're getting strict with that
I
time.
am. Hey. All right, thank you, candidates. Now it's time for closing statements. 1 minute in reverse ballot order. Cherie, we'll start with you.
All right. I had 2 closing statements. I'll use the second one. Listen, the trustee position is one of leadership, okay? We are here to represent you in the community, and we are here to make sure we govern the school district and they're compliant with everything from a funding and budgeting and law perspective. To me, leadership is about 3 things: intelligence, initiative, and integrity. Intelligence is, do you have the skills and knowledge to do the job? Initiative, are you going to show up for our schools and our kids? Are you going to show up and demonstrate that you care? And 3, integrity is, are you in it for the right reasons? Are you going to bring the community together and make sure we solve the challenges ahead? I've done all that. I think I've explained a few things, but I've shown up for our schools and our kids time and time again. I have formed relationships across this room and across the community, and we can make sure on day one we get the ball rolling. Integrity, initiative, and intelligence, I have all three. Srimaji, place 5. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for arranging this. I think it's very informal, information to all our voters. And thank you all for taking the evening and coming to listen to us. For me, leadership is about accountability, right? It is not about showing up. It is about do what you said you are going to do when you show up. It is not about checking the box about 20 committees and this and that. It is about what have you accomplished. As a community member for 15 years, I have contributed to the local community in various ways, including founding multiple nonprofits. Volunteerism is not about just being an ISD board. And what the board needs right now is we have 7 board of trustees for a reason. We need diversified skill sets. And those diversified skill sets, like he mentioned, young board, and people coming from the same system. And there is a change, and here is an opportunity. I am in your community for 16 years, and I love this community, will continue to be here. Thank you so much. Please vote for Babu.
I'm running because I do love this community, but I also understand its goals, and I am listening. I want to be your voice. I want to be able to bring your voice to the table when difficult decisions are made, and we protect our vulnerable kids and our teachers and you. My name is Misty Wamhoff. I'm running for Frisco ISD, School Board of Trustees, place 5. Thank you.